back, and I thought this morning I would talk about one of my first sort of segues into veganism and animal activism in particular was getting involved with animal liberation, South Australia. So animal liberation is nationwide and worldwide. Very reputable organisation to get into, to get involved with. So I highly recommend, if you're looking to get involved in some form of activism, of checking out animal liberation in your hometown, because I was young, I didn't really know how to make a difference. I was going to sleep every night crying because I didn't know how to help the animals. I was doing my part by educating myself and watching all those awful reality videos like Lucent and Earthlings and encouraging other people to watch it. But, you need to sometimes get out there and be involved with these groups that are doing great things. So in Australia in particular, the animal liberation chapters have all got different campaigns that they look after and focus, time and money on. So it's a good idea to jump online and see what animal liberation in your state has got on. Queensland does a lot of work around the rodeos, because rodeos still exist. Horrific animal cruelty and abuse. So if you're in the state of Queensland, get on board and see if that's a campaign you can help out with some protesting or education. New South Wales, unfortunately, they had a loss in the way of the greyhound racing, where that awful politician backflipped. But they're still working tirelessly, because you can't give up on a campaign. It got the exposure, so they need to keep saturating social media and educating people that we were very close to having it changed, because it's the wrong thing to do. So that's New South Wales. ACT in our capital, they look after some interesting campaigns that doesn't come to the forefront of people's mind, and I don't know why it doesn't, but kangaroo culling. Our gorgeous animal on our emblem is culled in great masses in ACT and all over Australia, but they do a lot of work. So if you're in another state perhaps and there's concern about kangaroo culling, perhaps touch base with Animal Liberation, ACT, and they might be able to give you a bit of information about how to address and how to start a campaign against culling in your state. Poor little kangaroos. So Victoria and South Australia are driving some really fantastic campaigns around dairy. South Australia in particular have been really lucky to get some massive billboards around the place that give plenty of exposure to one of the most disgusting industries on the planet. The rape and torture and abuse and just complete disrespect for a mother and her child, and it's bullshit. We're not meant to be drinking dairy anyway, so ditch the dairy first and foremost, but get on board. Those campaigns really need your help. South Australia are trying to get billboards up around at bus shelters, which are known, a great place to get that type of exposure out to the wider community. So WA looks after a campaign around sheep mulesing, which is the procedure where they tie these sheep up, sometimes with barbed wire, and then cut out a breech area underneath the tail to eliminate fly strike. And it's completely disgusting because there's no anesthesia. These animals are cut and left bleeding around their anus, which, it's a horrible thing that happens all within all the sheeping community, like farming. It's bullshit. So anyway, that's one of their campaigns. looked up Northern Territory. Not much happening in Northern Territory for animal liberation. So if you are in the NT, perhaps touch base with them and see what kind of campaigns you can come up with, or, you know, lead the way. If there's something that you want to look into in the NT that doesn't seem quite right, then start your own campaign. It doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be those passionate words and information that changes your perspective that then you pass on to other people. So keep it light. You know, if you have to, pictures are obviously good, and having those links for people to follow information up. If you need any help with campaigns, please touch base with your animal liberation crew in your state, because they'll be more than willing to help. And even if you start off just helping with some veggie sausage sizzles around the place, or book sales or something along those lines, it's a fantastic way to get involved in animal activists as a stepping stone. Wonderful organisation, can't say enough good words. So yeah, good morning, and yeah, have a good day. Peace, love, vegan.